Advaita Gadhadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tad Bhaktaya Namo Namaha. So, first of all, I want to offer my obeisances to my gurus, both Diksha and Shiksha, who have been inspiring me and carrying me forward in my spiritual life. Without their mercy upon me, I have nothing to offer, so I offer my heart like flowers to them millions upon millions of times. And I offer my heart like flowers unto all of the Param Gurus who were the ones who imparted this spiritual nectar unto the Gurus who have influenced me, and without their mercy and parampara, no one would have anything worth having. No, the mercy of the Lord flows through his devotees. And last, I want to offer my obeisances unto all of the Vaishnavas in the past, in the present, in the future, but especially the Vaishnavas here today, and maybe even some who may be listening online. Vanchakalpa tarubhishcha kripa sindhubhyevcha patitanang pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha koti Vaishnavindaki jai. So, today is Gadhadhara Pandit's appearance day. We just sang a nice bhajan, Jaya Jaya Gadhadhara Pandita Gosai. So let's see what it says in the bhajan. And then we can maybe talk about some of these things. This is all glories to Sri Gadhadhara Pandit. Jada Kripa Bale say Chaitanya Gunagai. By the strength of his mercy, one can sing about the qualities of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Gadhadhara Pandit's mercy is going to be essential for us to properly be able to worship the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, Heno se Gauranga Chandra Jahara Piriti, his love for the moon like Gauranga is such that Gauranga is celebrated as Gadhadhara Prananatha Jahe Lage Kyati, as Gadhadhara Prananath, the Lord of Gadadhara's life. So you'll see in this pastime that we'll read about the really deep affection that Gadhadhara Pandit had for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And you will understand why, how could he have such deep affection. We'll explain who Gadhadhara Pandit is. Because we know that Krishna, he comes with his associates from the spiritual world. And so he'll come and touch here the material world for many purposes. But one of the purposes is to save the living entities here, especially those who are making devotional advancement. He will come just for them. Or that will be one of the... he always comes with multiple reasons, actually. But that's one of the reasons. He comes to deliver those who are developing the qualities of sadhus and hearing from sadhus, and he also comes to punish the evildoers, the miscreants. So that's one of the reasons. But when the Lord comes, he comes with his associates. So we have the Panchatattva here. And these are five of the Lord being Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but the chief. But these are the five different manifestations of the Lord coming in this world, and Gadhadhara Pandit is one of them. He is the representation of the Shiksha Guru, a more intimate expansion of Guru, a more intimate expansion of the Lord's mercy, whereas Diksha Guru, you may have to follow many formalities with Diksha Guru. But Shiksha Guru, because not as many formalities are there actually can be an even sweeter exchange is possible. They can handle you in a more loving way. Where the Diksha Guru, to set by example, he has to be a bit more strict, actually. But so Gadhadhara Pandit, this is his representation, whereas Nityananda Prabhu is more the Diksha Guru, the formal Guru. Gadhadhara Pandit is, this expansion of the Shiksha Guru. So both are necessary. You don't get to the top of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu without both of their mercy. So he's celebrated as Gadhadhara Prananath, the Lord of Gadadhara's life. Nath is Lord. So, Gauragata Prana Prema Kebujite Pada. Who can understand the prema of he whose heart is one with Gauranga. Kshetra Vasa Krishna Seva Jada Lagi Chade. For whom he gave up his Kshetra Vas, his vow to forever stay in the holy town of Puri, and his seva to Sri Krishna at Tota Gopinath. So this is actually the pastime we're going to read today. So why Gadhadhara Pandit was ready to, even though he had amazing service and he had a main vow, but there was something much more important than his vows and even his service. So we'll talk about that. Gadayara Gauranga, Gauranger, Gadhadhara. Gauranga is Gadadhara's and Gadadhara is Gauranga's. Sri Rama Janaki Jeno Eka Kalivara. Just as Sri Ram and Janaki, Sita Devi are one body. So this is giving a little hint of how intimately connected Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Gadadhara are actually. Jeno Eka Prana Radha Vrindavana Chandra. Just as Sri Radha and Sri Vrindavan Chandra are one in heart, Teno Gora Gadadhara Premeda Taranga. Waves of prema flow between Gora and Gadadhara. Who's the author of this? Is Shivananda Sen. He is actually a great devotee. He's mentioned many times in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. He's a great devotee of Lord Chaitanya. Met him many times. So much mercy was given to him. I didn't think they would make it after all of the trouble. After all of the trouble that he was met. But actually it's really good because it's Gadhadhara Pandit's appearance day. So Aviram's mercy upon you. But I really would like him to...
Krishna hates me and loves me. And then I was like, actually Krishna really has nothing to do with me. Maybe Guru hates me and loves me.
Yes. So, waves of prema flow between Gora and Gadadhara. So, Kahe Shivananda Pahu Jada Anurag. Please put a diaper on him. Shama Tanu Gauranga Hoya Prema Mag. So Shivananda says, it is by his anurag, that is Sri Radha's deep attachment, that Shama Tanu, or the dark complexion Krishna, has now become the golden Sri Gauranga and is begging for that prema. So Shivananda Sen is actually giving a little bit of a hint as some of the internal reasons of why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came. Because the reason Chaitanya Lila had to happen is because there were some unresolved things in Krishna Lila. And so in Krishna Lila, Krishna is noticing so much love that Radharani is having, and he's perplexed by this love. Even though Krishna is like the Supreme Personality of Godhead and he knows everything, when he's surrounded by the Vrajabasis, and their love is so great it completely bewilders even him. So this is the nature of this realm of prem. It's so high that it can overcome the Supreme Lord himself. So this is why the devotee's goal of one's life is to achieve Krishna prem. So Gadhadhara Pandit in Krishna Lila is Radharani, actually. This is like Radhastami, actually, but even more merciful than Radhastami. This is in Krishna Lila, Gadhadhara Pandit is Radharani. So in Krishna Lila, when Radharani is displaying such intense prem for Krishna, he's so bewildered that he actually wants to know what this is like. And he wants to know what is in me that's causing her this much affection. And how can I understand this? Wow, I want to taste this, I want to relish it, and how can I understand this? So these are the internal reasons why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came. Because he wanted to actually experience what it is. So Radharani, knowing that, today is also an Amavasya, a new moon. New moons are typically seen as more inauspicious. It's dark and things like that. Krishna came on an Ashtami day. Radharani also came on an Ashtami day. And two Ashtamis together is the complete, two half moons is the complete. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he came together, he came to taste Radha's mood and he took her complexion. That's what when we chant Namo Mahabhadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Goritvishe. So his Goritvishe Nama, he's taken the complexion of Radharani. So he came together on Purnima, the full moon, but because Radharani, she was very compassionate on Krishna, she's like, I don't want him to experience the pain that I experience in separation. because Krishna wanted to taste what Radharani is tasting. But Radharani, what she's tasting is such high ecstasy, at the same time such high pain that we can't even imagine. So to come to comfort Krishna, she came in a hidden form on the Amavasya. So hidden, and Amavasya means no moon. So like if you imagine, Purnima is a full moon, so it's very, very prominent. But the Amavasya is a hidden moon. The moon is still there, but it's hidden. So this is why today, in the new moon, Gadhadhara Pandit came on this day. So Gadhadhara Pandit is, it's actually Radharani. Actually, you'll see Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and I'm thinking of a really funny moment. We were on Navadvip Dham Parikram earlier this year, and we went to, not just me, the whole group, we went to a Gaura Gadhadhar temple that's been worshipped since, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's time, the deities. So the pujari there, he was very, I don't want to say flamboyant, it's not the right word, but it was very eccentric. Eccentric is the right word. He's very eccentric. And, even though, Prabhupada Prabhu was trying to actually, give some glorification, the pujari there was very much more interested in giving his, participating in the in the activities. But there was one really funny part where he was chanting, Gaur Gadhadhar, Gaur Gadhadhar, Gaur Gadhadhar, Gaur Gadhadhar, Gaur Gadhadhar, and he just he turned this whole into this whole kirtan. But it was actually charming and quite cute. And but I'm thinking, my mind is going back to there right now. But Gaur Gadhadhar, just like as we worship Radha and Krishna, Bhaktivinoda Thakur would worship Gaur Gadhadhar, and actually it's still in Navadvip. Gaur Gadhadhar is worshipped as like Radha and Krishna. So this is no different from Radhastami actually, but actually even more merciful than Radhastami, because Radha and Krishna, there's so many offenses and there's so much qualification one has to have to enter Radha and Krishna. Meaning actually, no men allowed. If you're a man, you can't go and worship in Radha and Krishna. But you're also not even really ladies either. You're just taking a material lady body. But we all have this, what's called the Purush Abhiman, where we think we're the enjoyer. Whether you're a lady or you're a man, you're trying to be a man, a spiritual man. We're like the enjoyer. And really the only spiritual man is really Krishna, actually. There are others who take that form, but they're not allowed in the higher realms of, you could say the topmost, you have to have the mood of a gopi, actually like the purest of the spiritual feminine nature. That's the only way you get to go. So, but here, by approaching Gaura and Gadhadhar and all of the Panchatattva, we can get the mercy of Radha and Krishna, and we can become qualified through the mercy of our acharyas, where this highest thing could one day be approached. Maybe not this lifetime, maybe not in 10. But we're on our way, actually. We're on our way, and the result is guaranteed as long as we don't make serious offenses. So this is what we have to work on, is trying not to make offenses. So anyhow, I don't want to get too much into that, and I don't want to get into too much philosophy. I want to get into actually one of the pastimes Parth shared here. And it's mentioned in here that who can understand the prema of he whose heart is one with Gauranga, for whom he gave up his Kshetra and his seva to Sri Krishna at Tota Gopinath. When we sang this, Kshetra Vasa Krishna seva jara lagi chara, he gave up. So we're going to talk about that pastime. So 127 to 149. So maybe we can actually read all of it. So it says here, all these chief devotees, they accompanied the Lord. We did the Mangalacharana and everything already. And he's saying no one can describe the total number. And then now, 130, here we go. It says, when Gadhadhara Pandit started to go with the Lord, or he was, we can read at least one verse properly. Gadhadhara Pandita yabe sangete chalila. Kshetra Sanyasana Chadiha Prabhu Nishedila. Gadhadhara Pandit. Gadhadhara Pandit. Yabe. When? Sangete. With Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chalila started to go. Kshetra Sanyas. The renounced order of life at a holy place of pilgrimage. Na Chadiha. Do not give up. Prabhu Nishedila. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu forbade. So first of all, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he got stationed in Puri, and this is in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes. And when that happened, Gadhadhara Pandit also left Navadvip and followed Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And since Sachi Mata had begged Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to go to Jagannath Puri, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu agreed. So also it was Gadhadhara Pandit, he said, okay, if this is where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is, I take a vow that I will always be in this Puri. If this is when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's home, I will always be here. So he took Kshetra Sannyas. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, I don't know if it was, I think he must have given him the service of Tota Gopinath. Now Tota Gopinath is a very prominent deity in Puri. And why is it so prominent? One, Gadhadhara Pandit was the main worshipper of Tota Gopinath. But actually Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he disappeared, he entered the Gopinath deity. It wasn't like they buried Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He didn't have a samadhi. He went in ecstasy, and he entered the deity. And that's how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left this world. It's, incredible, actually. That's a miracle. It's not ordinary. So Tota Gopinath is, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is no different than that Tota Gopinath, actually. Tota means like what, small? What's that?
Tota is
Garden. Okay, not Tota. Tota. Garden, okay. So Gopinath in the garden. But this Tota Gopinath, I don't know much about. I've never actually visited. I want to visit, but I haven't. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he left entering the city, and this was the main deity worshipped by Gadhadhara Pandit, which is no different from Radharani. So this is a very prominent deity. And so he was given this service, and she was worshipping Gopinath. He was worshipping Gopinath at Tota Gopinath. But when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he started to go to Vrindavan and left Puri. Or I can't remember if it was to go to South India first or go to Vrindavan. I think by that time it was he wanted to go to Vrindavan. So anyhow, he left. And Gadhadhara Pandit said, to hell with all of my vows, to hell with my service. Wherever you're going, I'm going. No attachment for anything. Even service, actually. This is... but this did not... We'll see what's going to happen here. But this did not ultimately please Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So we are... but actually, I think it did please Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Internally, but externally, he had to lead by example. No, you don't give up your service. What are you doing? So we'll read, and now you have a little context. So he was forbidden to come. When Gadhadhara Pandit started to go with the Lord, he was forbidden to come and was asked not to give up the vow of Kshetra Sannyas. Kshetra Sannyas is to always stay at the holy place, to never leave the holy place, which was given to Gadhadhara Pandit. Purport. When one takes Kshetra Sannyas, he leaves his household life and goes to a place of pilgrimage devoted to Lord Vishnu. Such places include Purushottam, Jagannath Puri, Navadvip Dham, and Mathura Dham. The Kshetra Sannyasi lives in these places alone or with his family. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur considers Kshetra Sannyas to be the preferable vanaprastha situation in this age of Kali. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya lived in this way, and he has been called a Kshetra Sannyasi, that is a sannyasi living in Jagannath Puri. So actually this is what's instructed for devotees, and you see how to mostly do vanaprastha nowadays is to take Kshetra Sannyas. This is what Bhaktivinoda Thakur recommends. This is even me and my wife, if we carry this throughout our whole lives, which is our hope. This is, I think we've even talked about probably the proper way that we can imagine vanaprastha situation for us, because vanaprastha is traditionally you go to the forest and you survive off of the fruits and things like this here. But one, it's illegal in many places in the world. You can't just be a forest dweller. They don't allow you. They want your taxes and they want your participation in their systems. Mainly they want their taxes and all these things. So you can't do it. But in Kali Yuga, and it's very difficult even, we don't even have the knowledge on how to do it. You know, the ancients, they had so many deeper connection with nature, but we get it in nature and we're just lost puppies, you know, and we get scared of the dark, you know, we can't even go camping or something like that, you know, it's too frightening for someone to go camping or something. But, you know, these are, you know, Vanaprastha, you live in the dark forest. So anyhow, this Vanaprastha situation is recommended to do Kshetra Sannyas. But Gadhadhara Pandit took the Kshetra Sannyas. He was an actual sannyasi, but he took the Kshetra Sannyas. So then we'll just keep reading in English. When he was requested to return to Jagannath Puri, Gadhadhara Pandit told the Lord, "Wherever you are staying is Jagannath Puri. Let my so-called Kshetra Sannyas go to hell." This is the intensity of Gadhadhara Pandit's, love. Where in separation from the Lord, everything else is hell. You know, even like something glorified, like, you know, to be always in Puri performing service. Even his service to Dhota Gopinath, you know, he's like a pujari. He has like deep affection for Gopinath, you know. But because his living Lord is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, no, if you're leaving here, I don't want to be here. Let my Kshetra Sannyas go to hell. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked Gadhadhara Pandit to remain at Jagannath Puri and engage in Gopinath's service, Gadhadhara Pandit replied, "One renders service to Gopinath 1,000,000 times simply by seeing your lotus feet." You know, in your association, I'm rendering so much more service to Gopinath. Because you are Gopinath, that's the implication. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then said, "If you abandon his service, it will be my fault. It is better that you remain here and render service. That will be my satisfaction." The Pandit replied, "Do not worry, all the faults will be on my head. I shall not accompany you, but shall go alone." Saying, don't worry, you will not take any of the faults, I will take all the faults. And I won't even accompany you, I'll go alone. You know, I'll just stay in the back. He says, "I shall go to see Sachi Mata, but I shall not go for your sake. I shall be responsible for the abandoning of my vow and service to Gopinath." So thus Gadhadhara Pandit Goswami traveled alone. But when they all arrived at Katak, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu called him and he went in the Lord's company. No one can understand the loving intimacy between Gadhadhara Pandit and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Gadhadhara Pandit gave up his vow and service to Gopinath just as one gives up a piece of straw. I imagine we take some vows even here, right, in our movement. But imagine being so much captivated by someone. I don't care. My 16 rounds, they don't matter anymore. My that service, Mantra Central doesn't matter anymore. I'm going. You know, I don't care about the bills. I don't care about anything like this. This actually, in our lives, this can only happen when we get this can only come when we develop love for Sri Guru, actually. Sri Guru is our connection. Sakshat Haritvena Samasta Shastra. He's directly the qualities of Hari. All of the scriptures are saying. Samasta Shastra. Uktastata bhavyate sadbi. So uktas, all the scriptures are declaring tatha. And similarly, bhavyate sadbi. It's also considered by all the sadbis, the sadhus. So all of the saints and scriptures are saying Sri Guru is your connection to Krishna. So Gadhadhara Pandit is connected to Krishna here in these pastimes, and he'll let any other vow go to hell for the service of Sri Krishna. And actually, we could also let any other vow go to hell for the service of Sri Guru. So Gadhadhara Pandit gave up his life's vow to engage in Gopinath's service. This kind of loving affection, thank you, Deepti, can be understood only by very confidential devotees. I'm actually fasting till noon. Yeah, that's okay though. This sentiment is sweet. Ordinarily, no one can understand its purport. So this is a very confidential thing. Maybe Prabhupada will go into it, maybe he won't, we'll see. Gadhadhara Pandit's behavior was very pleasing to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's heart. Nevertheless, the Lord took his hand and spoke to him, displaying the anger of love. So you have to understand, it is possible to disobey the Lord or disobey Guru out of love. We've given some example. We talked about, you've probably all heard the story of one of Bhakti Siddhanta's disciples, who was actually Prabhupada's sannyas guru, who gave him sannyas, of Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami, where Bhakti Siddhanta ordered him to go visit his mother on her deathbed, and he did not do it. And when Bhakti Siddhanta found out he didn't do it and called him in to chastise him, the reason he gave was so compelling to Bhakti Siddhanta, it was so pleasing to his heart, that you can actually please Guru more by disobeying him out of love than, because the Guru has to also lead by example. He's an acharya. He teaches by example. So yes, devotees are compassionate. Mother is dying. One should visit the mother. But if the disciple breaks that out of love, some very sweet rasa exchange can happen. Here. So similarly, to honor your sacred vows like Kshetra Sannyas, to honor your service to the deity, these are all very high things. All very high things. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Lord himself, he's saying, you please do these services. But there's so much love and affection for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that they're willing to break that commandment simply out of love for the Lord, because there's so much affection for the Lord, and they want to, please the Lord with their service. So Gadhadhara Pandit, he's knowing, I cannot directly serve my Lord when I'm here. So hell to Kshetra Sannyas and hell with my service. Krishna didn't let me say to hell, but the deity. But but he's saying he'd like all these things to go to hell. So so this is Gadhadhara Pandit's conviction and his love, and he'll let even because these things they're scriptural. If you abandon these types of things, you're said you'll go to hell. But Gadhadhara Pandit says, I don't mind. Send me to hell. I just want to go and serve you. While I'm here, fine, I'll go to hell later, but you're here now and I must go and serve you. And of course he won't go to hell. But this is actually proper. Not proper, this is extraordinary actually. This is, what's proper if he would have just stayed and honor his things. But it's extraordinary if he's willing to let all of these things go to hell, and he can go to hell as long as he can be of better service. This is very topmost type of thing. So Gadhadhara Pandit's behavior was very pleasing to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's heart. Nevertheless, the Lord took his hand and spoke to him, displaying the anger of love. You have abandoned Gopinath's service and broken your vow to live in Puri. All that is now complete because you have come so far. Because now Gadhadhara Pandit, he left for days and he abandoned everything now. And now Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is very upset. Externally. Internally, he's very pleased. Your wanting to go with me is simply a desire for sense gratification. In this way, you are breaking two religious principles, and because of this, I am very unhappy. If you want my happiness, please return to Nilachala. You will simply condemn me if you say any more about this matter. Saying this, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu got into a boat, and Gadhadhara Pandit immediately fell down in an unconscious state. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ordered Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya to take Gadhadhara Pandit with him. The Bhattacharya told Gadhadhara Pandit, get up, such are the pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, it's mentioned in other places, the weeping here of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, of Gadhadhara Pandit. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he forced himself. He forced Gadhadhara Pandit to not be able to go with him. And he got in a boat and he was like, we're going off and you're staying here. And he's forcing the situation. But Gadhadhara Pandit was willing to go anywhere for him. But to be forced by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to not be able to follow him was like, the weeping of Gadhadhara Pandit, we can't even imagine such weeping and separation. The only way we can imagine is in this lifetime that we can actually develop such an intimate connection with Sri Guru, who is Krishna's expansion to us. And if we can, in our relationship to Sri Guru, develop and learn this love, get transferred their love for their Guru, then we can begin to know a little bit about this. And in separation from Guru, this will be how we can learn and we can taste what Gadhadhara Pandit, in a drop of what Gadhadhara Pandit is experiencing. So, yes, this is So it's said here, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, he continues, you should know that Lord Krishna himself violated his own promise just to keep the promise of grandfather Bhishma. Intending to make my promise true, Lord Krishna broke his own promise not to take up a weapon at Kurukshetra. With his outer garment falling off, Lord Sri Krishna, Hare Krishna Divyanshu, Lord Sri Krishna jumped from his chariot, picked up a wheel, and came running at me to kill me. Indeed, he rushed at me like a lion going to kill an elephant, and he caused the whole earth to tremble. Similarly, tolerating your separation, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has protected your vow with great endeavor. And so this is what was spoken by Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. He's saying, just as Krishna broke his own promise to take up a weapon at Kurukshetra out of his love for Arjuna, he's quoting a verse from the Bhagavatam 1.9.37. Arjuna speaking. No, Bhishma speaking in that chapter. So similarly, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, after quoting this verse, he's saying, tolerating your separation, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has protected your vow with great endeavor. So meaning, if out of love you have to break your vow, it may happen sometimes. A festival may come. Even my wife is finding out. With Abhiram, she's not always able to perform all the same vows. Even I'm experiencing times when the service is so heightened, all of my vows that I've taken and increased for myself, for my sadhana, sometimes they all have to kind of go to hell for a higher purpose. It happens time to time. Hopefully for a higher purpose and not for a lower purpose. But sometimes there's more pressing matters. Like for instance, sometimes like the mother of a new Vaishnava like Abhiram. So sometimes she's unable to complete all of her vows. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, though, out of the deep affection for which Gadhadhara Pandit left his duties and his vows, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is there to protect those vows because it was for the highest reason, out of love for him. So this is amazing. So in this way, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya revived Gadhadhara Pandit. Then both of them, very much grief-stricken, returned to Jagannath Puri Nilachala. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya also didn't want Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to leave. Actually, he conspired a long time with the devotees to not let Chaitanya Mahaprabhu leave. They would, every time Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to go to Vrindavan, they'd say, no, you have this festival to observe. And they kept tricking him into staying. So, like this. Good morning, Tanu. Hare Krishna. So, if you don't know, if you're just newly arriving, it's Gadhadhara Pandit's appearance day today. Oh, yes. So, it's a very important day. So, this is the pastime of Gadhadhara Pandit. Leaving all of his, he's leaving the orders of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu out of love. So, and this shouldn't be imitated. And so yes, Guru Maharaj, he has told me this, and now I'll do exactly opposite, and I'll just follow him. You can see how it works. It may really upset him, but also he may be charmed by the love. If it's really with a deep affection and love, he also may be charmed. This is actually what happened with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Internally he was very charmed, but externally he said, this is bad, and chastised him. So, like this. Alright, maybe there's one more story we can tell of Gadhadhara Pandit. Gadhadhara Pandit, Parth was telling, he was wanting to hear the pastime of Pundarik Vidyanidhi. So, who is Pundarik Vidyanidhi? Does anyone know? What's that? In Krishna Lila, yes. Rishabhanu Maharaj, yes, that's very nice. So, when Pundarik Vidyanidhi was entering Navadvip, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was getting divine ecstasies, and he's saying, my father, 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 and he kept saying, and all the devotees were, what are you talking about? Who's your father? And he said, my devotee has come. And so who came on that day? It was Pundarik Vidyanidhi. Okay, just let him go for now. So Pundarik Vidyanidhi. So Pundarik Vidyanidhi was new to Navadvip, and Gadhadhara Pandit did not meet him yet. So Gadhadhara Pandit was always a very renounced boy ever since birth. He came, Radharani has come, and she is taking fully the renounced position, only purely to serve Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Because, in this Leela, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was not going to, he was going to perform sannyas pastimes, and it was known by Radharani in the spiritual world, so she came as the humble servant. So Gadhadhara Pandit, he was very renounced from birth. So, but when you get very renounced, sometimes you may look at someone else and say, I'm very glad I'm not implicated in such material activities. You could, when you yourself get renounced. But a pastime was revealed here that actually somebody can have what externally look very materially affluent, but internally can care at all, can be completely renounced from those things, and only care for Krishna's devotion. So Pundarik Vidyanidhi was that example. He's Rishabhanu Maharaj, the father of Radharani, and from the spiritual realm, coming down to perform pastimes when all of the associates of the Lord are coming. So Pundarik Vidyanidhi, he shows up, but he's very wealthy, very rich. And in wealthy business, sometimes you have to, have a wealthy demeanor to do business and all these things. You can't you just show up, looking like Tulsi is, do-rag, sweatshirt, It's not always appropriate when you're doing, if you say you're doing a formal business in the world. So like this, I'm not meant to pick on you, but this isn't one's business suit, So anyway, so Pundarik Vidyanidhi had nice hair, styled properly of the time, nice silk clothing and everything, and he's got like all of these, fine items everywhere, and then not only that, he's chewing the finest pan. He's got all of the nicest thing. He has like a golden spittoon. He's spitting his pan, what he's chewing on, and he's spitting it in, into gold. So just see, where do we spit? We spit into the toilet, hopefully not the kitchen sink, but some people do like that. It's very disgusting, but no, we spit hopefully in the bathroom or things like this. David, why is he not being watched? So, but he's spitting in a golden spittoon. So Mukunda, who was a great kirtan devotee of Lord Chaitanya, a great devotee in his own right, he knew of the glories of Pundarik Vidyanidhi. But Gadhadhara Pandit was yet to meet him. So, but because Mukunda wanted to go see Pundarik Vidyanidhi, Gadhadhara Pandit, he requested, please come. There's a great devotee here. Gadhadhara Pandit said, great devotee, yes. But when you imagine a great devotee, you might think something else. So it wasn't, for the sake of Leela, it wasn't who Gadhadhara Pandit expected. Pundarik Vidyanidhi was, he fit all the bills of a materialist. So, but upon going, and Mukunda's bowing to him, and Pundarik Vidyanidhi is offering obeisances and blessings, but Gadhadhara Pandit was just kind of shocked. And Mukunda could sense this. He doesn't realize. He must not realize. And in Gadhadhara Pandit's mind, he made the offense of thinking, no, this is not a great devotee, this is a materialist. But this was not the case. So Mukunda knew what to do. He recited a verse from the Srimad Bhagavatam detailing how merciful Krishna is. So much that he's so merciful that Putana had taken the form of an assassin mother, but because she gave her breast to Krishna, he accepted her as a mother, and he gave her a place in the spiritual world, even though she acted as a mother only to try to kill him. But when Pundarik Vidyanidhi, he heard this verse, he became so absorbed in ecstasy of hearing of the Lord's glories that he just started rolling around in ecstasy and trashing his whole elaborate, what would be the equivalent of millions of dollars worth of setup. He threw it aside like it was nothing and just started shattering and breaking and gave no care. And he actually showed how renounced he really was. Even though he had everything, he saw it all as trash, especially in his ecstasy for the Lord. So this was actually shocking, to watch Pundarik Vidyanidhi in such a devotional ecstasy that he, out of ecstasy, just trashed his millions of dollars worth of property in this room that he was in. So actually, it showed really who's renounced. We can say, yes, I'm renounced, I have no money, or this, that, and the other thing. Yes, maybe you have no money, but it doesn't mean you're renounced. If Krishna actually gave you money, how attached would you be to it? You might become very attached to that money. So, Pundarik Vidyanidhi was truly renounced. He had all the money, everything was there, but in the devotional ecstasy for Krishna, it was all trash, and he just threw it all over the place, and he was just weeping in ecstasy about the mercy of the Lord. But when Gadhadhara Pandit, he saw this, in his heart he thought, I've made an offense. I've made an offense to this Pundarik Vidyanidhi, because I thought he was a gross materialist. He had nice hair, he had nice dress, he's chewing pan, and he's in this nice house, all these external things. He must be a materialist. But actually, Pundarik Vidyanidhi was more renounced than anyone. So, Gadhadhara Pandit, he felt bad for his offense, and he said, in his heart, he said, I want him to be my guru. I want him to be my guru. So, he relayed to Pundarik Vidyanidhi the offense that he felt in his heart. And Pundarik Vidyanidhi tested him. I think he denied him once or twice. It's proper for a guru to deny a disciple, actually. It doesn't happen much often now, but it is proper to test the disciple in this way. So, he's got a crazy attitude. He's passing away. So anyhow, so Pundarik Vidyanidhi, he accepted eventually Gadhadhara Pandit as his disciple. And this is the story of how Gadhadhara Pandit met his guru, actually. And it's meant to highlight. It's meant to highlight what is truly important. What's truly important is one's devotion. One's devotion. And in the expression of one's devotion, true renunciation will be expressed, actually. Where there's a principle of, where did my wife go? Yes, okay. So there's a principle in devotional life called Yukta Vairagya. So Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna says, I can't control the mind, it's stronger than wind, it's the strongest thing. And Krishna says, by two things you can control the mind, Arjuna: Abhyasan, which is practice, and Vairagya, which is renunciation. So, by renouncing things of this world, we can make advancement in controlling our mind and in achieving states of yoga. But Krishna didn't yet talk about bhakti yet. Bhakti is the king of knowledge. Vidya, Raja Guhyam. It's the king of knowledge, the king of secrets. And just by practicing bhakti, a few things are automatically achieved. One, you will automatically, just like a hungry man when he's eating, automatically he's nourishing his body and gaining strength, and at the same time his hunger is subsiding. So similarly, by practicing bhakti, you'll get causeless knowledge. You'll have so much knowledge will automatically come. You will be completely satisfied, you'll be completely blissful, and you'll be completely detached all at once. Just like a hungry person, their appetite goes down, their body is nourished, and they're completely satisfied by eating. So by practicing bhakti, all things happen all at once. So one of the things that comes by bhakti is detachment. But true detachment, not detachment, external detachment. Like a lot of times in Krishna consciousness, in the beginning, we come to Krishna consciousness because we're so poor and we're so in such a wretched situation that we're saying, Krishna, I'm giving up everything to you. But what have you actually given up? You have nothing. You're already poor. You have nothing to give up. What have you actually given up? So when you actually are really renounced is when Krishna is giving you everything and you don't care for it at all. This is Pundarik Vidyanidhi. This is real renunciation, actually. Real renunciation is, oh yes, I'm a monk. I have no money. No. You always had no money. You have bad karma. That's why you have no money. Yeah. You have bad karma because you have been impious in the past, so you must be poor. That's why you have no money. Not. What's that? Everybody should cultivate devotion to Krishna. Everybody. And the poor person shouldn't think I must become rich to get renounced. No, that doesn't work that way. Everyone should cultivate devotion, actually. But I mean, there's so many examples. I mean, the pastimes of Kolaved Sridhar with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He's so poor. But he's actually, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, you're the wealthiest man. I know you masquerade like you're so poor, but you're really the wealthiest man. We were talking yesterday, what's real wealth? It's devotion. Real wealth is devotion. Real wealth isn't things. That is, so like this, externally you may even get things. But just like when you guys weren't here, but a few months back, right before your guys' initiation this year, Guru Maharaj was here and he was telling pastimes. He was telling the pastimes of the Sudama Brahmin with Krishna in the Bhagavatam. And how Krishna, he was so poor, and but he had just like a little bit of pride left of his renunciation. So he went to Krishna. His wife wanted him to go to Krishna to beg money, but he just couldn't do it. No, Krishna's my friend. I don't need money. And so, but Krishna, on his way back, Krishna made him completely rich. We watched Guru Maharaj sitting right here weeping, telling the story. Do you remember? Yes. It was very captivating. But ultimately, he gave him everything. But Sudama Brahman, how did he live after that? Just like he did before. He didn't need everything. Okay, my wife has what she needed. And the only reason she wanted to do it because she wanted to render better service to her husband. This is like Vedic culture. She was feeling, I'm so poor, I can't render proper service to my husband. And then the rest, they were just, they were completely detached from. They used for the service of Vaishnavas and things like that. But we're not really like renounced, You'll know you're renounced when you have access to some wealth, and what do you do with it? Probably of dollars. He didn't keep a penny for himself. Always, this is for Krishna consciousness. This is actual real renunciation. So Gadhadhara Pandit, to set an example, Gadhadhara Pandit he's Radharani, he's the most perfect personality, even more perfect than Krishna. Gadhadhara Pandit, more perfect than Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, actually. But, Gadhadhara Pandit, though, for the sake of Leela, has set this example to show what is the real qualification. It's not, my guru is a sannyasi. Or my guru is, he doesn't eat. He only eats this, and this, and this. That may be fine. That could be even an expression, a symptom of his great devotion. But a real guru, what is looking for? One who has great devotion. Pundarik Vidyanidhi, it was revealed how great his devotion was. The weeping, we chant every day. Well, some of us chant every day. Some of us don't get up early enough to chant this every day. But we sing Mahaprabhu Kirtana Nitya Gita Vaditra Madhyan Manasora Sena. What's it mean? Mahaprabhu's Kirtana, Nritya and Gita. In Mahaprabhu's, he's engaged the Guru, Vande Guru Shri, right? This is the Samsara Dava prayer, the Guru Vashtakam. The Guru, he's engaged in Mahaprabhu's Kirtan, his dancing and singing. Gita, Nritya Gita. Vaditra, the playing of musical instruments, Mridanga, kartals, all these things. Vaditra Madhyan, and he's gladdened. Manasora Sena, in mind, and he's tasting ecstasy. He's tasting ecstasy in these activities. And one of the symptoms, Romancha, the hairs will even stand on end. Kampa, actually the body will tremble in ecstasy. Ashru, tears will come. Taranga, in torrents. Bhajo, he's feeling all these things. So Vande Guru Shri Charanam, we should offer our obeisances to the lotus feet of Shri Guru, who's feeling these things. So this is actually the symptom. This is real wealth. This devotion, the ecstasy that's coming is a symptom of their devotion. So we actually have to understand, and Gadhadhara Pandit in this pastime is actually revealing what true devotion is, and who is real true guru. Pundarik Vidyanidhi was, he's like a millionaire. More, maybe even more than a millionaire. He's so wealthy. He's spitting in gold. He had a golden spittoon. If we had gold, we would hide it away, and he's spitting in his gold. It's his like a spit cup. But he doesn't, and it's actually emblematic of what real wealth is. You spit upon gold in comparison to devotion, and the whole pastime is emblematic. He trashed everything he had out of his devotional ecstasy and didn't care at all. Didn't care at all. It was just so much in devotional ecstasy, hearing about how merciful Krishna is, that even he would take Putana, who tried to kill him, and give her the topmost thing. Because he sees the good. Krishna is so merciful, he sees that little bit of good. Oh, she accepted me as a mother. She wanted to feed me. He didn't take but she also wanted to poison and kill me. Oh no, the bad he doesn't see. How amazing is Krishna, where he's so much mercy. Where he only sees the good in what we do, amidst tons of bad. That's how merciful Krishna is. And so when Pundarik Vidyanidhi heard that, it was in devotional ecstasy. So we can't even fathom these things. Because we're still caught up on all of our material desires. I want to get married, I want to get a good job, I want to, have this, that, and the other thing in life. But Krishna doesn't even care. He doesn't even care with our nonsense qualification. We're so selfish that we can't even see the higher thing. He doesn't care.
Krishna Kripa acquired that pastime.
Yeah, Krishna Kripa also. Like Pundarik Vidyanidhi, he was telling it on Janmashtami a few years back. Do you remember this? This was, I think, your first time here. On Part's first time here, Krishna Kripa was telling how merciful Krishna is. And he also starts crying. So only an ecstatic devotee can realize these things. So this is the case here. So we should we should honor and celebrate Gadhadhara Pandit this is why we've come here together for this thing, to hear about Gadhadhara Pandit's glories and to glorify him. I feel honored to be able to hear Gadhadhara Pandit's glories and to sing this bhajan of Shivananda Sen. Right? So we've done a good thing. We can continue now because we all have many services that we need to do. Even I have to somehow... Is the wedding tomorrow?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I have to somehow speak on many things tomorrow and I have no idea what I will say. So today I have to immerse myself. But we all have lots of seva that can be done where this is not just Madhav and Stella's wedding. This is a big devotional festival actually. So this is very pleasing to Srila Prabhupada, very pleasing to our Gurujan. Our Guru Maharaj will be here tomorrow. This is very pleasing to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to have these bhakti festivals and to introduce what's really going to happen. Secondarily, they'll be getting married and a wedding will happen. But primarily what's happening is Krishna consciousness is about to be introduced to all of these people and relatives. This is a bhakti festival actually. This is what it is. Not like, we have to follow the dharma of getting married. Yes, it is good. But what's happening is, out of the dharma of them getting married, there's a big bhakti festival happening. And people are going to have access to bhakti, which is the greatest wealth. So we should do all of our sevas nicely today and prepare for this thing so that all of these people can benefit. And especially Madhav and his family will have great devotional benefit. And I've experienced this. We watched our family members when we did our marriage, how greatly they'll benefit. And in the future, when you all get married, when Krishna finds everyone devotionally ready to undergo such processes in your lives, you will all get married at the right time, and everyone, because you will do it, you'll make it a big bhakti festival, everyone will be benefited this way. Because materialistic people, they get excited about materialistic activities. And everyone in this material world is materialistic. Unless they've been received the gift of bhakti. So the ultimate pinnacle of materialistic activities, one of them is marriage. Marriage is like a super yes, we love weddings, and the karmis, they go to great lengths to celebrate a wedding. I'm going to drink this, and I'm going to hear this, and this it's going to be my song, and everything. This is my dress, and we're going to have sparklers, and everything is like this. So they've got everything planned out. Fine, no problem.
Spend their whole life saving.
But when the devotee realizes that, and they say, "Oh, well, if we dress up one of these weddings as a big bhakti festival, we can give them some real nectar." That's what's happening. Madhav is he's an expert plan maker, where he's looking how to give lots of mercy to all of his relatives. And yes, so Madhav will know exactly what he's doing. So this is what he's doing, and maybe he doesn't know it yet, but even if he doesn't know it, that's what I'm planning. He's hired me. He's hired me as the master of ceremonies. If he's thinking it's something else, then, oh man, that's going to go to hell. Because, this is here to give a big bhakti festival, nothing else. Him and Stella may have many plans. We'll respect them, but it's to give everyone bhakti. That's the main plan. That's what we're here to do, actually. So, yes, but that's what devotees do. They make everything, they use everything in one's life to share bhakti, to give this mercy, and to increase their own bhakti. When you share bhakti, you increase your bhakti. By kirtanam, you develop smaranam. So even though, if I'm rich and I give you, I have a big pile of gold here, but I say, okay, I'll give you some, I give you some, and I give you some. Now I'm less rich. But bhakti is not like that. Bhakti is, so you've heard lots of things, the glories of Krishna, and then you start sharing with others. All right, here's the glories of Krishna, here's the glories of Krishna. Guess what? I have more. I have more bhakti, I have remembrance. I remember it more by sharing it with you guys than not. So this is how bhakti works. By giving bhakti, real wealth, everyone becomes very wealthy. So enjoy your... render some service in this bhakti festival, and you will get wealthier, and everyone will get wealthier, and we'll all just keep getting wealthier together. So, Gadhadhara Pandit Avirbhav Mahamahotsava Ki, Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita Grantharaj Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita Ki, Jai. Gaur Premanande. Hari Hari Bol. All right, me and you have to nap today at some point.
I'm also.
Yes, I understand. Abhiram was, he was